We're about to go over the sculpting tool, and the sculpting tool is a wonderful way to take a new mesh and sculpt it out into a new form, or take an existing mesh and start to refine that mesh and change that mesh, such as playing with the different ways it can be distorted. You can use it to smooth out rough edges, or you can use sculpting to just to give your models a different look real quickly after you develop them using extrusion and lines and other techniques. We're about to take a look at the various brushes available with sculpting. Go to the object level and apply mesh smooth, and in the poly smooth faces, use a number like 3 to give it enough vertices for sculpting. Let's go over the sculpting tools. Select the sculpting shelf to see the various tools. When you roll over, you'll get a tool tip. Lifts the surface, smooths the surface with low distortion. To better understand all the tools, go to Mesh Tools, Sculpting Tools, and click the dash lines to tear off the panels, and there you get the names of each tool along with the shortcuts and with the tool settings window that you can open up as well to control the brush size and strength. Let's start out with the Bulge tool. That's a fun one. When you select a tool, you can see that the edges, instead of being green, are now grayscale as a cue that you're in sculpt mode. When you roll over the object, you'll see a brush. And if you don't see a brush, maybe it's huge, you have to zoom out to make sure how big your brush is, or you can click on the tool settings and just drag that smaller here, so then you can see the brush within the viewport. Whether you see the brush in the viewport or not, you can hold down the B key and the left mouse button and drag left to make the brush smaller, or right to increase the size. The strength of the brush is controlled by pressing the M key and the left mouse button and dragging it up for more strength or down for less strength. And again, all this is available by clicking the tool setting and finding it here. And if this window wasn't open, if you just double clicked that icon, that also opens up the tool setting. Let me open up my palette again, Mesh Tools, Sculpting Tools, and here's my panel or my palette of tools. Increase the brush and just click on the surface, and you can see that now my object's inflating. I want this to be more symmetrical. Hit undo. In the modeling toolkit, you can use symmetry. Have it symmetrical across the x-axis. And when I roll over this object, I'll see the mirroring of the brush across the surface. Now let's inflate it again. If any little errors, we'll be able to correct with this smooth tool. And let's use that now. Here's the smooth tool or the relax tool. I'm going to use smooth first, and you'll see it's going to have a major impact on the shape. Just changes it. It gets it a little closer to what you want. While if I hit undo, while the relax tool acts a lot like the smooth tool, but it tries to hold the form. And watch the vertices migrate. The vertices are migrating while the form kind of holds together, as we're trying to get rid of any indentations. So the smooth tools seem to work a little better with this. Let me decrease the strength by pressing the M key and dragging that strength downward. And again, if you don't see the strength, just go to the tool settings, pull it down small enough that you'll be able to see it. I want to do this a little quicker, so I need to use another tool, and another tool would be the grab tool. I could grab the surface and pull it. Now, a cool thing about all the brush tools, whether it's in Maya or in Blender, you want the opposite effect. Instead of pulling, you want to push something in, hold down the control key with any of the brushes, and then that brush acts with an opposite force. Instead of pulling, it's pushing. Let go and use the brush normally, and it's pulling out. Control, opposite force, release the control to normal force. And now that I messed up my character, let me open up the smooth tool and just smooth it all out again. That quickly got the center to rise up. As I do that, I might get these unwanted creases, like here. Let me use the Relax tool. I'm going to decrease the brush size by holding the B key and dragging the left mouse button to the left. And then again, the M key. Let's see how big that magnitude is. Oh, it's huge. Click it open, make it something manageable in the viewport, and then drag it. There it goes. And with the Relax tool, run across those seams to relax and migrate those vertices. I could have accidentally increased the head size by increasing the brush size. But I don't want that to happen. If I want to protect the head up here, let me undo this. You can use the Freeze tool. And the Freeze tool lets you draw out a mask. And this mask will not be affected by whatever sculpting that's going on. If you masked out a little too much, don't worry. You could decrease your brush size and then press the Control key. Just like all the other brushes, it'll do the opposite, so this will erase the mask. Now I could apply Bulge, knowing that I'm not going to increase the surface area of the head. Back to Bulge. Big brush for Bulge, B key. And there it goes. Head is protected. When you're ready to continue sculpting, press Shift U, unmask or unfreeze the area. Now the mask is gone. Sculpt tool. Sculpt will draw out new surface. It's going to do it a little bit abrupt. You'll be able to get some new surface. Now we got some boxy character happening here. Let me undo that. I'm going to decrease my brush size. Then do the Sculpt tool again. We could just select those faces and apply Mesh Smooth to only those selected faces. Mesh Smooth. Now there's more material within this region.